Good morning, YouTubers. It is Lucas, and I am here to help us build healthy relationships. Welcome back to our 60 journey. If you have not had the opportunity to subscribe or like any of the previous videos, please take that opportunity now. Today, the video is really going to be based a lot on post-traumatic stress. I've been getting a lot of intuitive messages, not only for myself, but for others around me. These are people that are actually in my life physically. It's also been for the readings I've been getting over the phone, and even some of the people that have been showing up for healing in my life. And I guess what I want to bring up first is we have to keep in mind and recall the events in our life that have led us to feel a certain way about ourselves and about people. These are beliefs that we have centered inside of our conscious and subconscious mind that are the guiding motivation and intention for how it is we are moving through current and new and old relationships. So I'm going to give you a bit of a background on myself. And I mentioned this in a previous video recently that I have had three serious relationships. Really, there's four. If you count my high school relationship with my girlfriend in high school, I've had 4 serious relationships. And each of these relationships had things about them that were not serving my highest purpose. And my biggest struggle, and the struggle that I had then is being met by some of the struggles I'm seeing with people now, is that I was afraid to leave a relationship because of my inability to trust that that relationship wasn't good for me or to be alone. And these post-traumatic stresses now that are popping up is that as these relationships have had issues, like so where I didn't leave a relationship and so I ended up causing huge amounts of drama and pain and chaos in a relationship, now as I'm in a new relationship, some of these post-traumatic stresses are popping up about past relationships in relationship to now. Now, I'm not saying ignore the choices you've had in life. I'm not exactly saying ignore the lessons you've learned. However, sometimes what happens with one person and a behavioral trait that they have, or a comment they make to you, or something that you experience through circumstances in the relationship, doesn't mean it's going to pop up in your current relationship. Sometimes, most times, if you let go of the past and move past it, then that trauma, that energy is now released. And when someone else says something or does something, if you bring up all of the energy of the past and start freaking out and getting anxiety and getting depression and fear and worry, then you're now projecting the energy of your past relationship into the current one, which means you're now echoing yourself. And those echoes are there's a necessary remembrance that we must have when relating to the past. However, the future and the now are always new. They're always new. They're always new. And we have to become aware that life is giving us new opportunities. And sometimes, like, I'm going to give you a really brief example. So, this one time a boyfriend and I are laying in bed, and we're having a heated discussion. Oh, swallow, nervous. And we fell asleep, I think. I'm starting to come to the realization that maybe we fell asleep, and this is why this happened. Well, in my mind, what had happened was we're having this discussion. There was a period of silence. I didn't think we had fallen asleep, and all of a sudden I get punched in the face. And it caused this huge, massive, fiery buildup of explosion that night. And I spent years blaming that person, saying that he hit me. And that's why we broke up, is because he hit me. And all of a sudden the other day, I was laying in bed. It's like 3 in the morning, okay? My boyfriend and I have been asleep for a long time. And I woke up to being elbowed in the face. And I turned my head really quickly, and he was moving his elbows from down to above his head. And by accident, got me in the face. And it didn't really hurt. You know, it was an accident. He clearly was asleep. We had been asleep for several hours. And all of a sudden, I relived that moment when my last 2 boyfriends ago punched me in the face. And thinking to myself, wow, like this energy could repeat right now. I could repeat the past at this exact moment. And then I realized, wait a minute, this is something different. And it was that realization because in spiritual practices in the community, there's a lot of talk about how separation isn't real. And while I do believe that everything is interconnected, just because you have a dot right here and a string to another dot doesn't mean those dots are the same dot. There's a string touching them, but they are separate dots. They are apart. And it was me being able to compartmentalize and separate that situation from the old situation that gave me the ability to release the energy of the past and to embrace the energy of the now. And I told him the next morning, I said, just so you know, you whacked me in the face last night with your elbow, and I relived all what I just told you, but in a much longer version. And post-traumatic stress does no good. And no matter what anyone tells you, from where I'm standing in my own consciousness and my own spiritual beliefs of who we are as individuals, post-traumatic stress and feeding it is a choice. It is a choice. There is nothing that can happen to you in your life that can come back in and echo as current. And the camera died. I even got a warning, but I was like, no, it's going to make it. We can finish the video. It didn't finish. There is nothing, no post-traumatic stress, no event, no situation, no person, no place that can hold power over you unless we allow it. And I think the biggest struggle that I face, that it seems like I'm watching other people face that are still waking up, is that they're allowing these situations of the past to control them and putting blame on that situation, person, event, place, thing, as why they cannot step up and spiritually, mentally, emotionally, physically evolve. And their choices, guys. Their choices. Like, you'll have to excuse my hair whips. I haven't taken a shower yet this morning. Took one last night, and it's like, my hair is like doing this. It's getting in my eyes. Their choices. And the best way to move past those choices is to acknowledge that we are allowing it to affect us here. Because the universe, God, the equation, the circle, it presents us with opportunities. Opportunities to learn, opportunities to go through the same situation again and to move differently. Because as I've said in so many videos, the only person you can really control is yourself. We are the ones driving our ship. We are the ones having our thoughts. We are the ones making choices in the now that are propelling us into the future. And it's funny, as I'm just going to tell you what's happening to me. As I'm sitting here talking about all this, the weight of my body is shifting into my toes. I was in a dance class one time, and my teacher said to me, "You're leaning back. You're leaning back on your heels." I said, "Oh, really?" And she goes, "Yeah, you do it a lot." And we have to remember that our body is a physical representation of where it is we are right now. What does this look like to you? This person's closed off. Their heart is shut to the world. Their head is in the future, like regaling over all the things in the past that didn't go well, all the things that are probably not going to go well in the future. Someone leaning away from the future. Oh, Lord, I don't know. And then there's the middle, the present. Posture is everything. Your physical posture is what is your emotional posture right now. And my point is, my energy is slowly shifting into my toes because I'm becoming present. As I'm telling you about this, and I'm saying, post-traumatic stress is a choice, let it go, my energy is shifting into the present, which is where it is supposed to be, where it was meant to be, where it is meant to be, where it will be meant to be, is always in the now. There's no past, there's no future, there's now, the now we just came from, and the now we're going into. That's it, but they're all now. Let go of dramas that do not serve you, because they're not raising you to a vibration that's going to bring you anything of joy. It's torture. All right, guys. Thank you for tuning in to our 60 journey. I really appreciate all of you, and I look forward to our next video. Keep up to date with all the videos coming. Some days and weeks I don't get as many videos out, and I actually had someone reach out to me that was like, you haven't made any videos. I was like, well, I do have a life. And sometimes I'm just not really feeling a video. They come out when they're supposed to come out. And so